connections that's so incredible to me is that you are connected not only with me, but with my soulmate friend, Mary Love. And Mary and I, Mary Julianne Carver and I wrote the story of our friendship and our spiritual awakening that came because of Mary's infant daughter, Grace Zuri Love. And now Janet came really more to see Mary, I think, than me, because they have found such a... I shouldn't have said that. I'm just teasing.
It was an important connection I needed to make, the Gracie thing, yes. It was big for me.
This has to do with Janet's health, in a way. Would you tell?
Yeah, but I do want to say to you that as I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm realizing how damn great this is, you know, like finally to talk to someone at this level in our hearts. I really am loving this. What happened was I read her book and I started crying right away. I remember at the point when Gracie dies, 5 weeks after she was born, I was in the tub and I could not get out of the tub. I was filling the tub with so many tears. And soon after that I said, I must write this woman. Now, at the time, I was just beginning to deal with the intensity of my kidney disease. I had known for years that I had it. It was due to lithium, poisoning, because of bipolar disorder. And I had gotten off of it a long time ago, but it was, already my kidneys were going. And I got very scared about the kidneys. I was told to go to hospitals and apply for a kidney, and I'm running all over the tri-state area, looking for a kidney, and the fear is building. So I thought, I'm going to become one with my kidneys. I took the Chorus of Love, and I applied it, and I said, I'm going to name my kidneys Gracie and Zuri after this child. And then soon after that, you said, oh, Mary was very touched by that. So I thought, let me write Mary. Let's just try this. I didn't expect anything much to come of it. And I really felt safe to open up to her based on the book. So I opened up to her and I said, I got to tell you, I've had this history with suicidal ideation that goes back to when I was 8 years old. And I said, I've also been so judgmental all my life. I have, especially about babies. Too many people are having too many babies, especially young people. I couldn't get past that. And partially because someone dear to me was having a baby at a time that I thought wasn't a good idea. It was all my judgment. So I felt as I was reading her book, I felt that leaving me. And what I got was people have babies because it's unconditional love. A lot of young girls now who have no love in their lives, living in the cities, they need that child to show them what that is. And so my heart just opened and opened. So Mary surprised me. She wrote me back. I sent it through you. She wrote me back. And so I thought, oh, okay, let me write her. And then a whole slew of emailing just started. I hate email. I don't like to go near. You were the only one you and I had been writing, and the only one I was interested. I would go to my email to see, did Mari write yet? I just wasn't interested. So then at some point, Mary started talking to me about Gracie. She said, Gracie had told me that she's watching over you. I'm still running around looking for the kidney, going to a nutritionist, trying to do the best thing for my kidneys, eating a very, very specific diet, losing a lot of weight, and very scared of losing all that weight. And I couldn't take it. So Grace has become a huge part of my life. And then Grace was really more the thing. Then Mary started to, those emails, she started to sink into my heart. So I realized it was really not Mary so much that brought me to Grace, it was Grace that brought me to Mary.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And to you more, to you. It just made, I started to feel like Gracie was telling me, come here. He was telling me I want you to go there and be with these women.
Yeah.
And those things don't happen to me too much like that. It's not that big, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there's any order, what is it, not that there's any order of difficulty of miracles, but that was pretty amazing.
And it's such a miracle of the heart, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, yeah, I love the story. I as you know, I told the story at my church. I was dying to tell the story, and Mary sent me a picture of Grace, all with the tubes connected, and I cried so profusely when I saw that picture. And I held it up at the church, and I've used the story I've met some mothers who've lost daughters, and I tell the story often to...
I know Mary told me that she sent you a picture, and she says, you know, I don't give anybody pictures. And I said,
Right.
You gave me one. Because I was like, hey, wait a minute, I do have one.
Yeah. Right.
But I know she has been. She has always stood tall, kind of back to that dignity thing. For it was like, no, we will not talk about Grace in this way. Grace was my child.
She talked to me about that this morning. She had a possessive thing
Absolutely.
going on.
And then Mary in turn would give me permission to feel motherly about my horse.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Wow,
it's like,
interesting.
it's okay that you it's okay you feel
Damn
protective
straight,
or whatever
man.
it is I'm feeling, but it's okay that you know.
I liked, I know that you wrote to me about that too, and I was really, I got it. If this were mine, if this came through me, I too. Yeah, it's your baby.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that you treat it as such, because it is a sweet little baby. It needs to be really watched, in that way.
And it's as powerful as that baby Grace. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't need, I'll never tell anybody this is right and this is wrong about it, but I'm watchful about, Jesus kind of lays it out, that, you do some teaching and some learning in those first, as you get into the first couple of books, but then you're to leave that behind. You're to leave the ego behind, you're to leave the teaching and learning behind, to share in unity, share in dialogue. So those are the things that that I look out for, is I just want that to be able to come to be. I don't want people to get too into the studying and the workshops and the, I want it all to open up and head toward the new.
That's why I like the fact that you used all those flowers in your website and everything, because this is what this is. This is just a slow opening of a flower.
And it was a perfect symbol for, I felt. So there's a friend of mine who took those photos, and he talked to me, he showed them to me and talked to me about it, that this flower only gives off its scent at night. So it had this sort of darkness, lightness component to it, which I thought was very symbolic of how love lets us embrace the paradoxes. It's not either or anymore.
I want to talk to you about this. This is very interesting, because Mary was saying yesterday, you need to, embrace, it's all about the light and the dark.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that the more I read this, the more I don't think about dark.
Yeah.
I just think
true.
that it's just really about, I get it. We can't just turn a blind eye. That I don't know how to explain it. It's just that's what's happening inside of me. I'm just becoming light, and the dark, I'm just going, It's my favorite quote from the Course in Miracles. All of your past, except its beauty, is gone, and nothing is left but a blessing.
Yeah.
So really, the dark is a blessing too.
Yeah.
So it's the light too.
Yeah.
There is really no dark. And that's where I'm going.
But if you try to block it, reject it, all that, or if you judge it, which, Mary and I talked about this back 20 years ago. We were talking about suspending judgment. And, for me, one of the things I only in the last year or so been giving up is kind of that beating myself up thing I do when I want to rest. You know, I mean, it's all those things that we grew up with, and that, you know, so that, but you can't if you never see them. You know, it's like I probably would have given this away years ago if I had seen it.
Yeah.
But you see it in the right timing for you or something. And so I don't suspect that we're ever going to be done really letting things go. And, you know, seeing, oh, I've got that judgment. I thought I was done. I've got one more judgment there. You know, whatever it is.
Right. But here's the clue, here's the key, is that the other day I did a piece of work with a friend, and she is great. She's Jewish, she does this spiritual direction stuff, and she said, what would yes you say to you? Mm-hmm. And I went like this, and I said, I'm going to become yes you, let me just speak. And he said to me, he goes, how can I help you release judgment of other people while you are so busy judging yourself? So that to me right now, like I've told you, I tend to be judgmental. Mm-hmm. So that to me right now is the thing I'm working on. Never mind my judgments about everything else.
It's this.
I want to stop judging myself for judging.
Yes.
That's what needs to stop. How am I going to ever take care of all of that while I'm judging myself?
Yeah.
So I'm learning to laugh at myself.
And it all starts here. I mean, this is the thing. So it's like, that's really why you don't want to externalize it into studying, and this teacher is going to tell you what to do, because it's all so individual and personal to let, you have to have that, or you and I, you know, some people need to have real bouts of quiet time to begin to integrate and know ourselves, and I've had, you know, quite a bit of that, and I'm kind of doing this turning back out now to the world.
Right. This will call you. This will, you know, both of us, I think. We're both creative people, and I think this is going to call us out. I liked what you said before about the balance. You know, just stop in each moment and go, well, how do I feel about this right now? Do I want to go out with this today, or do I want to stay in with this today? You know, that's what I'm doing with that group that I helped start, you know. Do I want to drive all the way to Doylestown? It's an hour for me to get to that group. Or do I want to stay home and just not do anything? Mm-hmm. So I take it minute by minute, and I'm just glad it started. That's all I wanted to see, was that it started.
Me too.
You know.
And the thing, you know, with speaking engagements and that kind of thing, you can't exactly choose in the now, but I can choose in the now. The ones that, like, where I can talk to people. This is what I'm starting to feel. I can talk to people and say, well, you know, how can we do this newly, and what are we going to do, and if it feels right, and then just know it's been fun. It's like suddenly there's like just, I mean, it's just in the last few months, this turn has taken, and instead of it being like drudgery and decision making and, you know, it's like suddenly it's talking to people and getting excited and fun.
My friend Sharon, who does this spiritual direction, she was asked to do a class on Kabbalah. We're all sitting there waiting to learn about all the elements of Kabbalah.
Yeah.
She did nothing like that. All she did was she just was in a state of ritual. She talked about air, earth, fire. She sang, she chanted, she had us chant with her. And afterwards, you know, I was getting feedback, like, I heard people, you know, this wasn't the Kabbalah. But I saw what she did was what she wanted to do, and she imbibed the essence of Kabbalah. That's what I hear you saying you're learning to do with this. You're learning to go and bring the essence of this, not the data. This isn't data, you know. The Course in Miracles did have some, because it had to. It was an undoing of the ego. So it's more, I wouldn't say fact-based, but it's teaching. There's teaching in that. How can you, a book that's telling you you're done with learning, how can you go and, okay, I'm going to teach you about A Chorus of Love today, you know.
Yeah.
You can only bring yourself with this. And that's what I hear you saying you're doing now. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and that's what you pass on. To the next person, you can only bring yourself, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. I love the self that you are. I really have to tell you, just being with you like this, I'm bathing in your selfness, and it's bringing out, I feel so myself with you.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't feel myself trying to be, which I do with everybody. I don't feel myself trying to be you.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting when you're not trying?
But there's no trying.
Yeah. But trying to be who you are, I mean, that's gruesome.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, I think that's part of it. It's like I'm beginning to find it. I'm beginning to find who I am. And then I can be who, you know. It's like, this is amazing.
It is.
Well, I appreciate who you are. Thank you so much for coming and doing